I'm happy that I am born free, and I'm happy that I have this knowledge already about a little bit about this human design, that I can understand why I'm acting this way. And then I can say to my partner, I can tell to my family, I can tell to my friend that this is me. I have to jump in.
Welcome to the Human Design Projectors Society podcast. I'm your host, Zet Harbor. Join me as we explore and dive deeply into the brilliance, the beauty, and the power of what it is to be a projector. Welcome, Ketlyn, to the Human Design Projector Society podcast. It is such a joy to have you here as a guest. So please, Ketlyn, tell us a little bit about you.
Thank you, Zeta. So it's really nice to be here. And I do want to mention that I'm speaking English today, but this is not my mother language. So if listeners, I don't know, don't understand something, then it's just because that this is language what I'm speaking today, but it's not my main language. But I actually don't remember how I picked it up, this invitation, because I do remember it was somewhere in a face. I saw it, your invitation. And I straight away had this feeling that I need to answer. I need to say, yes, I want it. As I'm here, I'm projector, 1-3, and I'm a mental projector. So I'm 45 years old. I do know human design almost 6 years, but I started to explore and live my design or this experiment maybe 2.5 years now, something like that. So I'm quite new, but as I am first liner, that means I'm investigator. I do enjoy to study. I have taken little courses about the human design, but most of the time I'm just exploring around YouTube, Instagram. I do have a couple of accounts there, which I prefer right now. And I'm a mother. I do have 2 children. One of them, my oldest, the son, is emotional projector. So we do have 2 projectors at house. And I do have 1 little dog, 2 little cats at house. And I live in Estonia, so it's a really tiny country. It's 1.3 million people. So we almost know each other here. Everybody knows. I live in a university city, so it's called Tartu. We do have a really famous university here around Europe mostly. And just today, I'm just exploring with you the chart, and we are talking about how to be a projector.
Lovely. Thank you so much for sharing that. That's so great to hear. And the whole purpose of this podcast and our session is for you and I to, as partners, explore your chart together. So my role will be to open up the various elements of the Maya mechanics and guide us through them. And then you'll be invited to share any thoughts or feelings or sensory experiences you have of those elements of your design. For anyone watching, this is not what a certified analyst foundational reading looks like. The purpose of the Human Design Projector Society and this podcast is for us as projectors to spend time looking at ourselves, because as all projectors who are watching or listening probably can relate, we're so curious and interested in other people.
Yeah.
There's just more juice there, right? So we really have a lot of fun with it. It is not right or wrong. But for us as projectors together to co-recognize each other and to be recognized by each other. And as you share your insights and experiences, whoever's watching will actually be able to see some of themselves through your descriptions, through your experiences. As projectors, we learn about ourselves through the other.
Yeah.
Again, so as you said, you are a projector, as am I. And for us, the strategy is wait for recognition and invitation. And I know there's a lot on the internet that just says wait for invitation, right? And I think that can cause some dread in projectors. I'm wondering if you'd like to share your experience of this wait for recognition and invitation.
Ooh, yeah, thank you about this topic, because I started the beginning of this year, I started a brand new career in real estate. So I'm 45 and I'm just turning myself to totally another direction. I've been in sales quite many years, almost 20 years, but right now I can see and I can feel what means this wait invitation. In the beginning of the real estate relator career, we do have to make phone calls to totally unknown people to get objects, to get apartments, to what we can sell. And for me, it's really difficult because I'm not invited in that phone call. Nobody there knows me because I'm just someone. I'm even not acquainted. I'm just a unknown person calling. I haven't understand this yet, but I do see that all these objects, what I have in my case right now, these apartments, what I can sell or rent out, all of them came to my list because the people who already knew me made me a phone call asking me, Ketlyn, can you please help me to sell this apartment? Or please, can you rent my apartment out? So I'm just experimenting right now really, really deeply. How about that waiting that the invitation? And it's almost like I'm watching this and I'm like, wow, all these apartments right now, what I do have in a list, they just came to me. I can say that what I did, I was me. And this is right now, it's like really interesting for me how it comes out actually, because I absolutely don't want to make these silly phone calls because it's so against my nature. And I don't feel invited if I'm calling to this strange people. I don't feel that they recognize me. So this is something I'm working on right now. And in the beginning, when I realized that I am projector and I have to somehow wait, I do know it's the main topic around the projectors mostly, this waiting thing. Most of the time, right now, if I look back of my life, work and everything, I do understand that it came somehow organically because all jobs what I have had, relationships, everything, everywhere where is success was that I was invited. Somebody asked me, can you come and do something? So in the beginning, when I was 20, 30, I didn't know anything about human design. So I just somehow lived that. Right now, I know about it. And sometimes I'm feeling that now it's like a little bit more complicated for me because I'm knowing about that. Yeah, right now in my new career, I do have little difficulties and I do have these question marks how to be a successful here, how to be successful in projector way. So that is something what I'm exploring right now in this real estate career where I am really new.
Yes, what a challenge. I think any projector listening to you is going to say, oh my God, I totally get that. And in
Yeah.
particular for sales, because the sort of conventional approach is to knock on every door and get in everyone's face and make sure. And yet, as you say, it offends your very nature
Yeah.
to be pushed to do that. So beautiful story that it's when you've been recognized by another and invited to advise and guide them in
Yeah.
either the sale or rental of their place that you are genuinely living out your projector nature. How lovely that you have those experiences too, that you can go, okay, that's how it feels when it's right.
Yeah, exactly.
And to briefly just note that for you, your motivation is the first color, and that's fear. And it isn't about you being afraid of everything, I'm sure,
Yeah.
but it is a first line. And therefore, it's really seeking a secure foundation and getting to the bottom of things and getting all the details. And for you, your way of being a projector and waiting for the recognition invitation will be seen through that lens of what's necessary, what's important for survival here. What are the details that are really going to matter? And so as you simply live that truth of who you are, those who recognize you, they will come to you, and you don't even have to move from where you are. They can come to you.
Yeah.
However, on the
Yeah.
other hand, you're in a world that's potentially going to pressure you to get out
Well,
there and behave
yeah, yeah,
like a generator or a manifester, right? They're gonna be like,
yeah.
get on the phone.
Actually, I am really lucky because of that. When I started this real estate business, I was like, I told to the manager that I am different. I am not the every other person in this office. And
Mhm.
if I'm coming to that business, I will do things my way. I guess I can say that because I do have some kind of confidence. And but yeah, there is a little bit pressure. And of course, I'm making these phone calls, but I don't feel uncomfortable yet. And I realized maybe that's why I haven't had this kind. Actually, it is challenge for me because I do love little challenges. And when I started, I was like crying because it was really uncomfortable. But as you said, that for me, it's important to know things. And then I started to tell myself the story that I'm at school, I'm learning, and that took the pressure off for me. Then I was like, wow, I'm in a new school. So I get paid because I'm studying.
That's awesome and so great for your profile and your motivation. But
Yeah.
we'll dive into your profile a little bit farther down the line. So you had mentioned, and we see here that you are a mental projector. Your
Mm.
authority is your environment. Can you tell us a little bit about your experience of, in here it listed as sounding board, which I know is another way of describing that you, as a mental projector, the way you're going to come to your clarity is through talking to a variety of folks who won't tell you what to do or how to think, but will let you express yourself. And these are people who know that you're not speaking to them so they can tell you what to think or what to do. So tell us a little bit about your experience of that, having sounding boards.
Yeah. When I was little, now I understand why I did it. Then I didn't know why. When I was little, I had this imaginary friends, and I was really constantly talking to myself. Actually, I wasn't talking to myself. I was like with these imaginary friends. When I became 12, 13, 14, then I had these friends and they were like English speaking. So that's why I started to practice because I was like walking school to home to trainings and I was constantly talking loudly on the street. And for me, if I really need some kind of clarity, I have to call somebody. Most of the time, I do have a couple of friends. I can tell them that I just need soundboarding. Can you listen to me? And they already know they are in human design, so they know about it. But, and then it was like, sometimes I was like feeling a little bit bad about how much I'm talking because I talk a lot. But now I do understand. Yesterday I had a meeting with her trying to go work together. She tries to help me in online do different things. And in the beginning, I was like talking almost an hour and she was just listening, making coffee, listening to me, I don't know, cutting a cake. And she was like really there for me. It is absolutely this way that when mental projectors can speak, we're starting to see ourselves. I'm starting to understand what's going on inside me. If I can't speak, then it's like it can be really difficult. It can be really difficult. It can lead to the depression or anxiety, or I don't know, really you in here, it's don't know how to describe it, but you can feel it inside your head. It's like really, it's not nice feeling if I can't talk. So for me, it's like really important that I do have somebody. with whom I can talk and who can listen to me, because then I start to listen myself. I start to understand what's going on inside me, or what I actually want, or what decision I should make. And as you said, I actually don't need any advice at all.
Absolutely. No,
Yeah.
it would be so incorrect for your design for someone to think that you are speaking about things because you need them to tell you what
Yeah.
to do or what to think. Thank you for sharing your experience of connecting to other people as sounding boards. And what a
Oh,
gift that you have people in your life who are aware of that and don't feel like they need to push themselves or their ideas onto you.
yeah.
I think that's something that for projectors, is something else it's a central challenge of our lives is who we have in our lives matters so much. And Ra, I know, says it lots and lots of times. For a projector, it's all about who is in your life. And
Yes.
it's not always easy. Like when we have children, it's not like you can get rid of them. It's not like you can always change relationships, but to have the conscious awareness to choose relationships that do enliven, that do recognize you and appreciate you the way you are rather than the way maybe they want you to be. All right. So let's talk about that 1-3 profile. And
Mm,
as I shared, I'm a 3-6. So you and I do have that third line element in common. So first, tell us about your experience of your profile.
mm. As you said, I'm a 1-3. So the biggest relief for me was under to start to understand about this free line, because it's trial and error. It means that we constantly trying new things, and we constantly, I can say that we are failing because something happens all the time. And when I started to live with my partner right now, with whom I'm together, she was like, it was really, really difficult for her to see me go straight, as she said, you're going to hell. It's painful for me to see that you are starting this or that, because she said that I already knew, or I know that in the end it's disaster. Why you are going? And I said that I have this, how I say, I have to, it's almost a need that I have to try it with myself. And why it's that? I'm going in, I'm failing, I'm coming out, and then I can say, don't do it this way because it doesn't work. Do it another way. So it was for me to understand this third line and this trial and error thing. Right now, I'm telling this to people around me that I am like that I can jump in. As I'm third line, I do have to know things. I want to know things. I still remember when I was like 20 something and I started to work after I was home with my firstborn. And I still remember how I got this book. It was about the goods what I was starting to sell in the shop. And I still remember that I said that if it's important, then I learn about shoelaces and the material of the shoelaces. But I want to know everything because I want to master this, the things that what I'm selling. I have to be a master. I have to know I have to know everything. I have to know all these interesting stories and details about it was a sports mag shop, so there was trainers, everything what you can wear when you're doing sports. So there was different materials, everything like that. So now if I'm looking back, I understand that 1-3 actually is like water and fire together. in one way, I want to study everything. I want to know everything. I want to take another new course. And the free line is taking me straight head somewhere. And I'm actually even don't know where I'm going or what's going on there. So it's like I really enjoy to be one free because we can live really adventurous lives. Because one is taking us to the adventurous, we want to explore things. And for me, free is giving me this kick to my butt that don't be afraid, go, you can manage in your life. So if I'm talking to you right now about this one free, I can pick up this energy of this two lines that it's like really bubbly and it's really like alive because there is so much, I was saying, there is really life in that one free. So I'm happy that I am one free and I'm happy that I have this knowledge already about little bit about this human design that I can understand why I'm acting this way. And then I can say to my partner, I can tell to my family, I can tell to my friend that this is me. I have to jump in. I have to do this trial and error thing. But if I'm looking back in my life, I understand that's why I've done so many things. I have had different jobs, opportunities. I've lived abroad. I have different relationships. So I guess it's like something what keeps going inside me. So yeah, I'm really happy to be one free.
I love it. What a great expression of the 1-3 life. So perfect. I think each profile has its own inherent tension.
Yeah.
You've really captured that inherent tension between the one really needing and wanting consciously that secure foundation and to investigate,
Yeah.
get all the details out. But yet that willingness to, all right, let's go break some things and see what happens of the unconscious third line and how, because it is unconscious, you may not even know how
Yep.
you ended up where you ended up, right?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you. Let's go back to your chart. Let's talk about your personality, sun and earth. I am similar to you. I also have the 4323 as my sun and earth. I'd love to hear more about your experience. Let's open it up so everyone can see. It's called the channel of structuring, a design of individuality. And as we all know who have it, most often just shorthanded as from genius to freak.
Mm.
And one of the interesting things about the 43 is that all the awareness centers have a fear associated with each of the gates. And so the 43 has the fear of rejection, right? Rejection, and particularly for being weird. The 43, breakthrough, gate of insight, fear of rejection, mental anxiety that your ideas are too weird, will be rejected, and the need to make sense to others. Oh my gosh, the need to make sense to others, right? So that for you is your earth, it's your grounding, it's the form you're here to make manifest in the world. And in doing so, you bring your light into the world, which is called gate 23, splitting apart, the gate of assimilation. It has the quality of amorality, the awareness and understanding that leads to acceptance of diversity. For you, it's the first line energy, and that's called proselytization, which, if you're not familiar with that English word, let me just say it's like people who proselytize are out there preaching, trying to convert everyone around them. Right? So the attempt to undermine one set of values for another is the sort of what's here to be learned about. And because you do not have either the exaltation or the detriment, you may on occasion experience either of these ways of being, which is the powerful expression of an insight, which will undermine established values, or the powerful expression of an insight, which will produce negative effects. So a lot of words there. And as we know, Ra speaks in poetry, not necessarily in prose. So it can be a little bit of a mouthful and a mindful, like what does any of this mean? I'm going to offer an exploration of this, and you tell me where it lands for you and what your experience of this light you is. So, amorality, meaning there is a capacity for acceptance of diversity. It's not about judging someone as right or wrong or good or bad per se. And you do have the capacity to, it says here, undermine one set of values for another. But that doesn't mean that you're undermining a good set of values. You might be undermining what might be negative set of values that affect people negatively. And so sometimes that may feel like the powerful expression of an insight that undermines established values. And again, amorality. These are not good established values or bad necessarily. It's depending on the context. Or you may experience the powerful expression of your insight, and that may produce what is perceived to be or experienced as a negative effect, right? So it's totally obviously up to the context, up to you, how much you're able to follow your strategy and authority in any given moment. But what would you like to tell us about this light that you're here to bring in your personality, Sun? If you have any feelings about it at all or thoughts.
I do have much stronger feelings, or I recognize myself on this 43. So this personality sun is maybe it's not so familiar for me yet, but if we're talking about this gate 43, there I totally recognize myself. I totally understand that, yeah, this is me. And especially, it's like this. I was so many thoughts in my head. You were talking, and I was like constantly thinking about that. Oh, I want to talk about this situation or that situation. But it's interesting that right now, how my thoughts are like running, like really quickly. I don't know. Maybe it's because of the energy what starts to be between you and me. Maybe it's something like that. But how say it, I do see myself as I am weird. I still remember when I started my psychic career. It was like 6 years ago. I just jumped in. There were tarot cards, oracle cards, meditation, everything like that. And I still remember how it was really difficult to start this kind of business actually, because I was like this. You were normal before that. What happened to you? Actually, even right now, I feel that it's a little bit like difficult for me to actually express my ideas, or because I do understand that I am a little bit like UFO in an office or in a, I don't know, most of the time, yeah, this weird lady with tarot cards or something like that. It's not easy to live like that. Mm, but I think I already manage it quite well, because I'm balancing between this spirituality and this two legs on the ground. And for me, I guess this is like the best way how I can live this gate 43 in my way. Right now, if I'm in a real estate business, I am this weird lady for everybody there, because I'm bringing constellation methodology to the real estate, or I bring this, I don't know, this psychic thing in that business. So I I am totally like to another planet for them. There are a couple of people who are like recognizing me, because they do believe in different things and different words. But I do have colleagues who are like, I think they're laughing sometimes somewhere in a coffee corner when they're talking about me, because I don't know, I say something, or I'm talking like about this real estate constellation work, what I just did. And so, yeah, it's not easy to be this woman with weird ideas. But right now, I do feel comfortable that I am different. and it's not so hard for me anymore. And I do have friends around me who recognize me, who say that, wow, this real estate constellation thing, this is like really something. I Google it, there is nobody who's doing something like that. So you start to bring this to the world. This is something so amazing. So this helps a lot that I do have this kind of people around me.
Yeah. So just to tie that into your personality sun, this real estate constellation work, did I get that right?
Yeah,
So look at that, the attempt to undermine one set of values for another. The
mm,
values being, why does someone buy a piece of property?
yeah,
You are undermining the old idea, which is it going to make you money later? Does it have
hmm,
enough space for you now? Da, 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 da. You are undermining established values about why someone would choose a piece of property or a place to live. And it's awareness, it's understanding. There's an acceptance of diversity because a constellation is like a lot of diversity. And so you're willing
yeah.
to bring in. So you've described the light you're here to bring into the world so beautifully. And you are bringing it into form, right? You are manifesting a new order.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. This is something what I recognized. I think maybe in the beginning when I started to investigate the human design and when I started to explore myself through this system, I started to understand that I'm going in somewhere. I don't know. Let's say it's the real estate. It's really there are things being this way, I don't know, centuries, 15 years, 20 years, something like that. And I do realize that I'm going in and I'm like, why you are doing it this way? Because it's so old. Can we do it in another way? Or can we bring something new in that? Yeah, this is something I do see and I saw that this is something what I have to offer to the world.
How congratulations. You're living your light there and the form you're bringing it into the world. And I just want to point out that you have the 43 in more than one, you
Yeah.
have it in Uranus. So it is also your unusualness.
Hmm.
So this is the way you're going to be unusual, right? A new order and
Yeah.
the depth necessary to bring into form that unusual insight. Why are you doing it that way? Why are you doing this old way? What about these new, really interesting, diverse, and more like inclusive way?
Yeah.
Right? So brilliant and beautiful that you've just really illustrated for us one way that this channel, the channel of structuring individuality from genius to freak, you've just shown us beautifully how that can appear in the world. And with it harmonizing with your 1-3 profile,
Mm.
it sounds like what you're doing is saying, hey, let's bring in these other elements because that's going to create a secure foundation from which they can make a decision about where they
Yeah.
want to live or where they want to put their money. And you are obviously experimenting with this.
Absolutely. I'm in the beginning of this experiment anyway, so yeah, I'm
Wow, I love it. Thank you for showing us how this can look. It's just mwah, chef's kiss, right? Beautiful. There is so much more to explore, obviously, in
Mhm.
anyone's design, but like we've just gotten to I like to talk about exploring human design as you can go out on a boat and you can view the ocean from the deck of the boat. You can get in and you can snorkel. So you can start to see all the things. You can then learn to scuba and go deeper, or you can get one of those submersible things and
Yeah.
go down into the deepest parts of the ocean. And we've just gotten our little snorkeling started on your design and your chart. What I'm sensing is going to happen is I would like to invite every person who gets started is like, all right, next time, let's dive into this. For instance, I was looking at your Venus,
Hmm.
Jupiter, and your Saturn, and they have a relationship to each other that is quite beautiful. So I would love in the future to give you an opportunity to explore that.
Yeah,
Um,
why not?
This has been such a delight. Ah, I am so just enriched and enlivened by you sharing your stories of your experience and showing us a little bit about what one way of living as a projector with the 1-3 profile, as a mental projector, as a 4323, like all the things that you let us look into your life. Thank you, Ketlyn, so much. I appreciate you.
Inviting me so beautifully, because I was like, I still remember the WhatsApp call what we had, and I was the way you are talking and the way you are recognizing me in that call and right now here, it's even a little bit uncomfortable because I'm not used to feel so recognized with somebody who's actually I'm meeting you first time online here, but I have this kind of feeling that I'm so nicely invited, and the atmosphere it's so warm and welcoming that it's even feeling, it is a little bit uncomfortable because it's totally, it's something like really new for me energetically, because of course I listen all these words and everything, but I do read the energy, and this is, I'm like, oh my God, it's so nice, but it's a little bit like, ooh. So yeah, thank you for that
Yes.
experience.
Oh, you're so right. Because as projectors, we're super comfortable getting into the other person's energy field,
Yeah.
like going, what's cooking in there? What's going on?
Yeah.
And we're built for that, right? So for sure. But as projectors, we're not really built for other people to go, okay, let me look inside you. And it is so very personal for a projector to have someone in their aura, in their energy field.
Yeah.
For us, it is so different. If we're to do this with generators, yes, they would, because they're open and enveloping, sure, they'd feel it. But they're not, as Ra said, they're not eating the person. Like
Yeah.
we're digesting each other. And so if the other is like bad food or bitter or just
Yeah.
not correct, then it's going to take a while for that to pass through our digestion.
Yeah, but the energy right now for me, it's, oh, yeah, it's you are feeling something first time, and you're understanding that it's so good that you're even a little bit afraid because it's so good. So that's how I feel energetically right now in that recording and in that conversation here, and how I was feeling in the first call on WhatsApp. So yeah, it's here in my aura, so I'm feeling it like woo. So thank you for this opportunity for me and for this experiment. Yeah.
You are so welcome. And thank you for responding. And that's a generator thing, but thank you for feeling recognized and feeling that the invitation was correct for you and acting in a way that let me know that and recognizes me. And so thank you. Yeah, I know. Like we're a little bit, we're not even that far over time, but I'm not surprised. I could have kept talking for another hour, but
Oh
I feel
yeah.
I can't. I shouldn't. But for sure, if of course, as we move forward, I would adore having you back to share more of your experience. So I feel like it'll be so fun and lively for people to get to know, not just like a one-off, okay, we explored that person, but let's go into deep to depth with each one. Anyway, Ketlyn, this has been so fun. Thank you.
Thank you inviting me. Thank you for the nice conversation and exploring. So yeah, definitely if you are inviting me back, I definitely will be here. So thank you.
Yes, you are so invited.